I'm Sara Perry, psychic medium, clairvoyant, entrepreneur, all those things. Welcome to my channel, to anybody new who is tuning in today, and hi to all my regulars for the new year of 2018. I hope you have all been enjoying it so far. The energy is so different. I know we had this great big full moon in Cancer at the beginning, and you know, it brought up a lot of intensive emotions, highlighted a few things that needed to be changed, but there was a lot of love going around as well, and there was opportunity to really communicate and resolve things if you wanted to. You know, the thing is with any of these challenges or emotional times is to use the knowledge, you know, reconnect with yourself and your own inner emotions and gain that sort of understanding, and then you'll be able to express yourself a little better and get more positive results as well. And you know, if you were able to find resolve in this time of a long-standing issue, then yay! You know, I'm really pleased for you. And you know, there's still time, okay, for anyone who hasn't. Let's always look at this as the positives. You know, this is a good positive channel. We don't like to look at anything other than that. Now, this is your weekly psychic insight and predictions for the 7th to the 14th of January 2018. This is a universal look at things, so it may apply to some of you, it may not. If you wish to have a reading at the end of this, a private reading with me, you can get an audio recording, you can have a written reading, you can do a one-to-one over Skype, or if you're living in my vicinity, maybe make a private appointment at my home. Do check out the website. It's www.saraperrypsychic.co.uk. Now, anybody that is local or is able to travel to me, I am doing a workshop or planning a workshop in February, which is as part of a documentary, and I'm looking for some people to take part in this as part of my life-changing 6-step program, but it's more of a taster session to get you started. It's £30, and I'm looking really maximum 15 people. I think 10 would be good. If you are interested in that, please do PM me. This is will be great for you to get some insight into what this program is about, but also it can help you just get a new perspective. I'm using this as a sort of a quick, you know, if you've got questions or you've just sort of lost sight of your goals a little bit and you really want to get things on track, it can just get you started. I'm also looking for individuals to get involved in this documentary on a private level, and that is £150. It's normally £500 this program. So if it's something you'd like to do and you really want to really get things going this year and get some clarity and more focus, if you're still sort of in that place of, you know, stuckdom, as I call it, do get in touch, because we can do it over Skype. I would need video diaries from you or some testimonies. You need to be happy to do that. Obviously Skype, I'm not going to be keeping recordings of that, and it would be in your own. I would ask you to do, you know, just at the end of the sessions, just to video yourself, just doing a blog, you know, of how you've got on and your experiences. If you do this one-to-one, then you would have to be prepared to maybe be filmed during some of the time, but anything that is used would be, you know, discussed and between myself and the individuals, so nothing would be put out there without any prior consent. It is really just to help launch and for other people to see what this is all about, because it so easily sounds like just some of these new fad things, but actually it's really workable and really easy to do, and you know, good for time wise. You know, if you're quite a busy person and you just get stuck, because once you've learned the system, you can replay it yourself. You know, you can use this again and again. So the other option I'm looking for is a group to work with over a certain time, but again, you'd have to travel to me. The first thing to do would be to contact me, and then I can sort something with you, you know, and discuss things with you, because I'm looking for lots of different energy and to make this documentary. So if you'd like to be part of that and part of something that's really life-changing, then do get in touch with me. Now, so let's look at this week. I'll stop going on. I feel this is a really good week for raising abundant awareness. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense, but awareness around abundance. How can you best do things to increase your abundance in your life? Okay, so that can be money, happiness, joy, to create a more abundant way of living. This is such a good year to get things going, to really, really get things, the foundation strong and actually start building. Now, last year, you may have felt like you were building a house and it just kept falling down. That was really so that you could learn lots of different methods. Think about, you've taken on a job, you're an apprentice, or you're doing a foundation of a class, an art foundation or something, and you don't really stick to one specific thing. You experience new ways of doing things, new techniques of creating art, and some of it will suit you, some of it may not, but you may be put down, having to focus one term on something to help you learn. So with a foundation, you learn lots and lots of different aspects. That's what last year was like. This year, it's about taking the things that you've learned and the things that work for you. So things that really bring you joy, that you're interested in. If you've just done an art foundation, nobody would expect you to go off and go into pottery or portraiture if it was something that didn't really bring any joy for you. There would be no reason for you to follow that. When you finish those foundations, you generally know what field you want to be in. That's the whole point of it. So if you can view last year as that, then it will help you this year. But you must be prepared to eliminate the things that really aren't working. Have the courage to do it. Sometimes it's just time to stop. You may be great at it. It may be wonderful. The skill may be great, but and you might find it really easy to do. But does it really give you that buzz? And if it's not giving you that, and you don't feel motivated around it, and I've talked about this before, you're not going to invest your time in it. You're not going to invest your best energies. You're not going to get the best out of it. So when you're questioning if you need to close a door, think about that, because the new moon that's coming in is going to create a lot of opportunities, I feel, to shut things down. You want to be starting again around that time, okay? It's there is a chance to sort of sit back and review things this week, and I feel that it is on a personal level. This must be about you. It's not about ego. This is about the self growth, but you may have to be independent of your choices occasionally, or just don't tell people. You don't have to share everything, but this is about a lot of you are going to be really focused on, how am I going to make things work better for myself? How am I going to build my bank balance, rather than it constantly being taken away from me. You can have a balance, and the important thing with Saturn being in Capricorn is it's showing you that you can work hard. You've got the it's giving you the energy, motivation to do things, but it's also allowing you time off as well. It is about both. Okay, you don't have to work yourself into the ground anymore like you may have felt you were last year, but a lot of that working yourself hard last year was stuff that inner stuff, maybe just that feeling that you felt guilty you had to do it, or that you just were not, you were resisting the change, you were resisting trying new things or exploring new ways of doing things. So you're just constantly banging your head against a brick wall and tiring yourself out and exhausting yourself and thinking, I've got to keep going because it's got to work. Sometimes it's about, it's stopping isn't failure. Closing a door isn't failure. The failure is not being aware of it and not listening to yourself and what you need. Okay, so think about that. And I don't really like to use the word failure, because actually I don't think anything is a failure. But if you want to bring that into it, if you really want to start going, I'm a failure, then think, well, okay, who are you failing? If you're failing yourself, then really that's the biggest that's the sadness about it. That would be a sad thing. You need to come first, because if you aren't able to put yourself first, then how are you going to do right by other people? Okay, so turn it around. You've got an opportunity, some of you this week, to really put things straight. I'm seeing some people maybe opening up accounts, building an investment, maybe retracting an investment. For some of you, this is going to be to do with house moves, that you'll realise that maybe one estate agent isn't working for you, or I don't know if you call them estate agents in America or other places, but we do in UK. That you go with somebody else, or you just think, actually, I've been on these books for 6 months, it's still not working, I'll give it another 3 weeks. Think about it in reality, think about it logically, take into consideration that last year wasn't maybe the best timing. What I say is sort of give somebody enough rope, allow them to the opportunity to surprise you, to change things, without sort of demanding too much. Just let them sort of sink themselves, really. If they're not working in the right way for you, if they're not, if something isn't good for you, you will see it. I feel it's going to be quite clear. Now, there's a door opening this week, which is going to be a really strong link for some people out there. I feel it's like, I don't know why I'm getting Thursday, but it seems to be a really important day. It's being given to me, and around the afternoon, they're saying the clock is ticking, so take up this opportunity. Now, saying that, I don't want you to feel pressured. Oh my God, I don't want to miss the opportunity. Don't go into all that. Just think about, if something arises and it really feels like you feel a strong connection to it, whether it makes any sense or not at this point, I feel that, it should be pursued. Okay. Or it could be pursued. Let's not say should, because if we use the word should all the time, then we feel it's not because we can or because we want to. If you feel that strong connection with somebody, it might be someone coming into your life. It could be a job offer. It could just be a connection you make with something, or something that happens and you feel like you need to pursue it more. This could be a second opportunity coming in, and I feel that for some of you, you may be a little bit hesitant because it didn't give you what you want before, or maybe it didn't work out. But again, pursue it. Because if that feeling inside you that still really wants it, it's worth going for. Alter the perspective of things. Just say to yourself, new year, new start, different energy. It is very different this year. So there are opportunities, if you really want something, I feel you can succeed, and you need to keep that in your head, but you need to really want it. Now, there are some challenges this week. I feel Tuesday may present a bit of a challenge, but the way to overcome this is remain calm, keep peace of mind, and also, think about your own well-being, because if you get wound up about things or get in a stress, it isn't really going to change things necessarily. This isn't going to be something maybe that mega for some of you. It may be just little irritations that happen, or something that just gets in the way, when you want to get on, and you can get yourself all wound up, or you can just sort of look at another way of how to to overcome it. But I feel that if you keep calm and you keep things in balance, I think you'll find the answer. So it's almost like this is a good time to sort of meditate, or just step back and just do nothing, because the answer will come to you quite easily. And I feel that is, this could be again around money. This is an interesting thing, because I've got this everywhere, so I feel that it's going to be quite highlight financial situations. There's a truth coming out this week, and I feel that being Jupiter being in Scorpio is revealing a lot of truths. There's things that have been hidden deep within, and they're going to start coming out. And I feel that some of you, if you're in a situation that is very restrictive, maybe you're the third party, or someone's cheating, or that type of thing, or you feel that a relationship isn't moving forwards, or someone else is influencing a relationship in some way. I do see a change of pattern, but I feel that the truth, or understanding the truth of the situation, seeing that, whatever it is, whether it's, it feels like a positive or negative. I'm not getting anything here. It's just saying it's the truth. Okay, when you get that truth, you can change the pattern. Okay, or, you know, it may just be being honest with yourself and the realizations of things. Now, emotionally, there's going to be a few temptations around, but they're going to keep circling. You know, where we have dark, there has to be light. It's important to get both. Otherwise, you're not going to, you know, you don't get that balance. If everything was just hunky-dory, you know, we didn't have any pitfalls, we wouldn't have any learning. So it would probably get quite boring after a while. You know, if you were to, you know, your dream was like to constantly go from hotel to luxury hotel and always be waited upon and all that, you know, and that's all you did, and you could have anything you wanted, you probably would get bored if you're used to, you know, working towards things. There's this great fulfillment in being motivated to, you know, with a challenge. You know, we do get motivated with them. Now, some of you may, or one or two of you may receive a message this week which doesn't really give you anything. It's like that sense of like, well, what does that mean? I don't really know. That's not a yes or a no, really. Maybe that's me telling you it's not really quite resolved. It feels like there's a chance, there's a, you know, there is, you haven't got all the information maybe, or it just isn't maybe what you were expecting. I don't see it as a negative thing, but because actually I see it opening up into something quite positive and a really sort of being quite surprising. It could be that you just didn't see it coming and actually you thought, oh my goodness, I didn't expect that. But do be aware again around the temptation around it, because you might want to suddenly sort of, you know, if say somebody apologizes to you, where you just thought, oh, they'd never do that, they're just not that type of person, suddenly they pull their heart out of love to you, or just say, you know, I feel like I've done really wrong, I want to put this right. You know, don't suddenly feel like, oh yeah, you've got to like give then 1,000% back and you need to be the best buddy and, you know, it's all go again. Maybe I'm not thinking you shouldn't pursue it, because remember that second chance we're talking about, you know, there is an opportunity to pursue, but you don't need to make any big decisions. I don't think you should be tempted into sort of running back into your old ways. Remember, you know, if this was an energy balance, or that you were, you know, this was the reason that maybe you're not talking, or there was a rift here, why that was, you know, that you just suddenly go, oh God, oh, that's so nice, you know, I feel really flattered, that's so sweet, okay, let's get back. You know, think about how that would work, because sometimes there's too much water under the bridge. Sometimes the damage has been done, and although it's great to have the apology and you can find peace of mind, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to be best buddies with someone again, or you need to have a relationship or get married, you know, because sometimes it just doesn't work. You know, these things happen because you're just not that well matched after all. It's not going to bring you the happiness you want. So give yourself a bit of time. I do see a sense of letting go here, whatever. So, you know, sometimes it's just letting go of anger. I've got the sign of children here, so, but I feel it's more about immaturity and the way things have been handled, and maybe somebody reacted in a certain way that wasn't, you know, it was just childish, you know, maybe a bit selfish in that way, or just sort of maybe a little ignorant or unwise, should I say, and, you know, and that highlights a character trait as well. So again, you know, if you've seen it and you think, oh, actually that was happening a lot, and this argument or this rift has just really made that quite apparent to me, you know, sometimes you just don't think it's done you a favour. So by this time, once this comes, I think it's going to be such a surprise, because I feel like it's a long time in coming, or it's somebody that just wouldn't apologise or wouldn't, you know, behave in this way. You know, it's very out of character. So, you know, I would just be a little bit, you know, maybe pursue it, but just do it on guard, you know, don't create more problems. Now, work-wise, I'm seeing more balance here. I feel some of you are going to be guided into exactly the right direction, and I'm seeing some handshakes here. I'm seeing some, you know, doors opening for some of you, interviews starting to take place. But I feel like an increase is important again. You're looking at your value, your self-worth. And for some of you, you're thinking, well, actually, I need a bit of a rest from this, because actually I'm doing too much and not getting enough. And there's self-reflection going on. It's like, am I happy in my job? You know, is this what I really want? If there's another opportunity here, you know, is this really the right opportunity? Am I doing a sidestep, or am I doing a step up? You know, if you're going, if you don't like what you're in and you decide to take a step away, that, or change jobs, that's great. But if you're going to change jobs and just, it's like at the frying pan into the fire, then how is that really helping you? It's not, because it's not going to take you any further. It's just putting you in another restrictive position. So again, the truth here, I talked about restrictions and things. It doesn't have to be relationships. It could be a job situation. So this self-reflection will bring out the truth in yourself. Lots of gossip around at the moment, so be aware of that. But I feel some of it's quite fateful and could be quite useful around the workplace, so keep your ears open. But a sense of independence is important here, and I feel that if you believe in your own dreams and you focus on those, that you will actually get much more for yourself. And sometimes stepping away, or stepping out on your own is the best thing. Maybe it doesn't make you the best loved person around, or you feel like people are gonna not like you anymore, especially if you're a manager, but that isn't the point. It's about progression, and I think that that's what's going to be on your mind. It's like, well, how can I make my business a success? How can I make my work life a success? And how can I move on from here? Because I've just been going around in circles, or maybe I've been paying too much attention on whether people like me or not, and actually not whether I'm going to be profitable. Now, relationship wise, your intuition is going to be very, very heightened this week, and I do see a new cycle coming in, and a sense that you can close the door on the old and step into the new. So this is like a little bit of a very, very miniature new year where you go into expansion. It's very positive energy around relationships, and I feel it's going to be a lot easier than maybe when this full moon was going, what, I know myself, I was feeling very irritated, but I didn't even know why I was feeling irritated. And actually there wasn't anything too challenging really happening. But I did notice a couple of things. It was quite subtle, because I knew what this full moon was coming and what it was bringing. I was able to sort of really be observant of it and observant of myself. And I just connected with myself, and I found myself wanting to, find forgiveness and wanting to put peace there. And, and it is... Sometimes we have to look at ourselves and say, okay, you messed that one up. You need to go and, be truthful about it and honest. There was a couple of things I felt I needed to put right, and, it was okay. But I'd rather do that than feel that I was, I had to live with the selfish side of it, or that, I wasn't able to have the courage to speak out. There's this thing, isn't there? People can accept your apology or not, but at the end of the day, that's their business. Okay, we all know that phrase now. But I do see like dreams transpiring in love. I do things coming, going right, and things speeding up. So that's good. This is really good in relationship wise. I feel that, if you know what you want, I think you can achieve it. There is a lot of loyalty around this week, and I do see some celebration in some cases, sort of getting towards the weekend, and some that are going to be unforeseen, that will just come in and you suddenly think, oh my God, that was so fateful, and you're celebrating because the way fate works out. And, I've already felt this year there's a sense of sort of justice and rewards, and sometimes the rewards are very small. Now what I'm doing every day is I'm writing down every single, I've got a diary going of what I need to do each day, of what's important, so I'm keeping more into the present, and I'm not overworking myself, because that's what I tend to do. My own personal thing is to go at it like a bat out of hell, and then overburden myself and get really stressed, and then feel more restricted because then I can't let it go. Okay, so what I've been doing is keeping this sort of diary each day of just writing the little list of the things I really need to do, but some things I'd like to do, and then I tick them off. But at the end of it, I put a star by things that I've achieved, and anything that really good happened, or maybe something that highlighted today that was a negative thing, but then I put a positive by it. So it's a really simple exercise to do, but it sort of keeps you grounded, it keeps you where you are, and when things come in, you can then sort of work out a little bit better whether you can take that on. I've restructured days off a bit better, and I've just calmer in myself. So I think it's a good thing. Now, we had the year's been fantastic so far for myself. I feel like, again, writing down those achievements and positives is actually bringing more in, which is great, and it's lighting the atmosphere. But then, in the middle of the week, well, let's say Friday, we had was in a little minor car crash, and that sort of was like, whoa, where did that come from? And I spent the whole day wondering what that was about. I'm not actually sure it was to do with me per se. I think it was to do with my better half, and but it did sort of throw a bit of a spanner in the works, and it could have caused me huge doubt, because normally I'd be going, oh my god, I did this wrong, because only the day before we'd done something for ourselves that was exciting, and you know, my initial normal reaction would be like, oh, we should have done that, oh, I'm feeling guilty. But actually what I've realized this year is I have let go of a lot of guilt. So this is a good exercise. Again, if you're interested in getting involved in this program with me and this documentary, then please do. You know, if anything, it'll give you confidence. And you know, the video diaries that you do can just be very, very simple. I want something really natural. I don't want anything, you know, I'm not looking at people look like, or you know, whether you've put makeup on or not. It's not about that. It's about the real you. And sometimes doing this can be a great help, again, to help you get to like yourself a bit more. And you know, from a personal point of view, again, when I started doing my videos, I don't do them so often, only because it is just more time consuming, and it's just the setup and everything, but and it's easier this way, and I feel more flow. But when I started them, I didn't want to. I didn't feel comfortable at looking myself in the mirror when I first started doing this. Like, this was a couple of years ago now, and I had to do it. I was sort of forced to do it for something, and I kept overdoing it again and practicing and fumbling in front of the camera and worrying about what, because I could see myself, and it was really off-putting. And eventually I just got bored. I just so wanted to get it done that I stopped thinking about it. And then I started looking at myself differently. You know, I wasn't being critical so much. And I mean, I wasn't necessarily going, oh, look at you, you're fabulous. But I was okay with it. And that was the most important thing, okay? And this program helps that, okay? There's little exercises to do which will help you improve that side of yourself. And I'm always talking about valuing yourself and, you know, looking to the future and moving forwards, and these are really good techniques to do. So you know, this is an amazing price that I'm offering at the moment. So, and there are ways of paying it in part payments as well, so it's not that you've got to, as long as there's a, you know, deposit is paid, it will be non-refundable, I'm afraid, but that covers my back a little bit in costs, and also to show your commitment. But, you know, if you do want to get in touch, please do. Anyway, have a wonderful week, everybody. And if you'd like a private reading, then do go to the website. Again, all information on the 6-step program and everything else I do is on there. And I will speak to you very soon. Take care. Bye for now.